So Ron DeSantis, as we talked about, has officially ended, or he calls it suspending his presidential campaign. He has endorsed Donald Trump. He was on track to secure 5 or 6% of the vote in tomorrow night's New Hampshire primary. It was pretty clear from some elements that were published audio visually over the weekend that this guy knew he was dead in the water. And in fact, as I yesterday, before DeSantis's announcement, I was preparing for today's show and I was reviewing some of these clips. And what I was going to tell you is he now knows he has no shot, but now we know he knows that because he has ended his campaign. Here is some I know my empathy meter may just be too high. It may be calibrated to be too sensitive and feel bad for people. This is a clip from earlier this weekend before he dropped out. You could just see the failure palpable on his face. He was asked, what's your end goal here with South Carolina? Because the initial announcement was, let's move people from New Hampshire to South Carolina. We're not going to do well in New Hampshire. Maybe we can do well in South Carolina. And his answer just has defeat written all over.
Oh. Governor, what's the end goal here in South Carolina? Is there a district you think you could win here?
Look, I'm not a political pundit. I mean, we're here. You saw the folks. We get great reception. We're, as this thing turns, we're going to be in a good situation.
Yeah. I mean, he asked, is there even a single county you think you could win here in South Carolina? What's the plan? He's like, I don't know. I'm not a political pundit. Not exactly a confident vibe over the weekend. And also another early sign of trouble. And again, he ultimately said, I'm out. And it all makes sense. Here is Jim Acosta on CNN announcing that DeSantis canceled all of his Sunday show appearances yesterday. Again, 2 days before a primary. You don't cancel every TV appearance if you plan to continue, if you think you have a shot.
CNN has learned that Ron DeSantis has canceled appearances on both CNN's State of the Union and NBC's Meet the Press tomorrow morning. CNN's Steve Contorno joins us now from Lexington, South Carolina, which with more on what could be a major development in this campaign. Steve, I mean, it's never...
All right, we don't even need to... I mean, Jim Acosta makes the obvious point.
Good sign when a candidate is canceling Sunday morning appearances right before a big primary like New Hampshire. Obviously, they don't want to take questions along the lines of, are you going to drop out?
Yeah. And of course, the answer is yes, he is indeed dropping out. So a quick check of the polling as of this moment. As you can see here, 2 lines surging. The purple line is Trump. The red line is Nikki Haley. And Ron DeSantis was down to 7 on average in New Hampshire. Now, I'm going to make one other kind of comment here, and this will be relevant maybe tonight during live coverage of the rally. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. There was this one poll in which Nikki Haley tied Donald Trump in New Hampshire 40-40. On average, Trump is beating her significantly by nearly 20 points. The expectation I have is Trump will easily win in New Hampshire. Maybe Haley will end up overperforming by 2 or 3 points relative to the polling, and Trump will underperform by 2 or 3 points. But this entire Nikki is tied with Trump thing, Nikki is tied with Trump in a single poll, which is an outlier. And on average, Trump's winning by 20. The reason the New Hampshire primary is so important is, let's just imagine that it was up for Nikki Haley to win it. The New Hampshire primary could be the inflection point for this primary race. And here's what I mean. Trump won Iowa. If Trump wins New Hampshire, you now have a situation where everybody else has dropped out. Of the 2 primaries, Trump will have won 100% of them. They will be heading into South Carolina, which, despite being Nikki Haley's home state, Trump is leading in. In that scenario, this primary is over and Trump's got it. The counterpoint would be if Nikki Haley can somehow gain 20 points overnight and win New Hampshire, you then have a different scenario. You now can say, hey, we have 2 primaries and we have 2 winners. Trump won one and Nikki Haley won a single one. And the next state is Nikki Haley's home state. If now she can build momentum between now and the South Carolina primary, and she can win that, you then have a real race. You then have a situation where out of 3 primaries, Nikki Haley will have won 2. We will then be heading into Super Tuesday, and it's a very different situation. So in a sense, everything is riding on New Hampshire. In another sense, other than that one poll that says they're tied, Trump is very clearly winning and winning by a lot. And in that sense, everything's riding on New Hampshire, and it will all but guarantee that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. So let's take a break. After this short break, we will look at some of the campaign stops of the different candidates. We will look at very interesting new polling involving Joe Biden. We're going to zoom out. Republicans are panicking about 2024 because many of them are realizing we have no accomplishments to run on. What are we going to say to people to get them to vote for us? I guess we'll have to make stuff up about litter boxes and bathrooms. And that's exactly what they're doing. We'll talk about that a little bit later.